which as a woman in tech, a male, Jenny and myself, we're women in tech in a very male-dominated industry. We have to work so much harder to get the same amount of respect, the same kind of, response as our male counterparts. And so, yeah, that's what she said first, burnt out, but then, she sort of added as an after fact, plus Neve is starting school, and I really want to focus on that. So I think that's totally valid that she can focus on that, but it wasn't that led to burnout. It's just been a very hard term, I think, for her as a Prime Minister. In terms of not so popular in New Zealand, I think Labour, the current, her party, not her specifically, they have put in a lot of progressive policies. Climate change is like the number one thing of our lifetime right now to try and mitigate. And we need to put in these policies to try and preserve our environment, preserve our planet. And so a lot of those unfortunately affect a lot of the rural community in New Zealand. And so people don't really like all of these policies sort of affecting them so drastically, which you can understand with that being their livelihood. But I think that's where a lot of the sort of hate comes from, is that people not really agreeing with the policies and potentially not being consulted on them and trying to meet halfway. Unfortunately, that's kind of led to, I feel, people really villainising Jeisinda Ardern, although it's not her per se. We're not a dictatorship. We don't have a president. We voted in multiple parties to lead. Everyone's in government making decisions. We have a cabinet. So I just don't think it's very fair that people villainise Jeisinda and hate Jeisinda and want her to die when it's not her fault per se. She's just leading the country and making the best policies with the information she has at the time.
One of the things, especially in our work at Multitudes, that I really appreciate is her willingness to speak about the potential harms of tech. We so often like to go on about how wonderful and amazing it is and how it'll fix the world, but it's actually just a tool, and what really matters is how we use it. And so we need more big voices talking about the harms and how we can use it for the better. And so it's really benefited me as someone who's running a global business. And one of the things where I thought she was particularly brave, being the Prime Minister of a smaller country, was being willing to criticize some of the big tech giants in their response to the Christchurch attacks. And we know there are things that technology can do really well on its own, and there are things that honestly are just better. We need human judgment to say, we need someone jumping and saying this isn't okay and we shouldn't be making this go viral. One of the things that Jeisinda has really meant for me is an example of a different type of leadership. Something I think about a lot as a woman leader is how I can be really authentic. I don't want to just follow a lot of the prevailing models, which can be bombastic, which can be self-serving. And she is someone who's really modeled what it is to be genuine, what it is to be caring, and also be a strong leader.
I think the majority of New Zealanders really respect and appreciate Prime Minister Ardern. As someone who works in tech, as someone who's a data scientist, I do feel really distressed at how tech has been used to harm people. I mean, Christchurch as well, the Christchurch attacks, that was partly sort of fueled by these echo chambers that social media creates. And so, yeah, it is distressing to me that tech has been used for harm in that way. On that point though, I think Jeisinda Ardern, she is a leader that actually understands and is aware of that harm, and she's taken real steps to mitigate that. So the Christchurch call, her keynote speech at Harvard. So it's really inspiring and encouraging as someone in tech to have a leader that really understands those harms and is willing to take steps to mitigate it. I just don't think gender should come into it like that, It shouldn't be like, oh, we've had 3, therefore we can't have any. No, it's just the best person for this job should get it, a compassionate, human-centered leader who understands all people of New Zealand. And so, yeah, I'm going to be voting for someone who understands climate, understands data ethics and tech harm, and that could be someone of any gender.